tried so fucking hard to be a girl in 8th grade before I transitioned. I was like, I need to lock in. I really wanted to feel.
You know, it's funny. It doesn't really matter what age you realize what this is and you're trying to run from it or you're trying to fight it. Like, the stories are very, very similar. Now, I didn't realize what I was until I was 30, okay? And I tried to not be this. And I was told by some people that I've met in the community that it doesn't work and you can't turn it off or run away from it. But I was 30 at that point. I thought, well, I've ran away from it this far. Of course, I didn't know what it was. But then once I knew, it's funny how knowledge just like unlocks something inside you, right? So then I spent the next 9 years trying to get away from it. And it just kept coming back. And sometimes it came back stronger than others. And sometimes it was adult material, but other times it wasn't. It was just, I needed to be me, and I wanted to express who and what I was. And initially what I did is I just grew my hair out. And that helped, you know, that made it better for some reason. But that wasn't enough, right? Like, my hair's growing out now. This is as long as I can get it. I've never had any longer than this. I would love to have it down like to here on me, and instead it's up here. But still, it's much longer than it, This initially made it enough, and then I was just a guy with long hair. And I thought, oh, that's all I needed. It was at that point in time that I rededicated myself to my faith. I'm a Mormon. I wasn't raised Mormon, but I became a Mormon in my 20s. And now I'm 30, and then throughout my 30s, I just kept fighting it. And then at some point in time, I got away from the church for a bit, and I worked out of town for like a year. And during that time away, the thoughts just kept coming back, and I would, at night, I would listen to these hypnotic audios that would turn me into a woman in my mind, and it felt good. And it had nothing to do with anything that's, how do I phrase this? The closet doesn't have to be a dirty place. And it wasn't. It was just, oh, I'm a beautiful woman and I'm me now. That was what it did. And I realized that, like, that was what I wanted. So then eventually that job ended, and I came back home, and I was around church people again, and they wanted me to come back to church, and I wanted to go back, but I didn't want to give that up. And eventually I did go back to church, and I was trying to live the way they say to live, praying and thinking righteous thoughts and living as good a life as I could. I wasn't perfect, but I was trying to be. And after a year of me going to the temple and being temple worthy, I thought that would make the thoughts go away, and then they came back. And then I Googled or YouTubed transgender Mormons, and I found bishops who had served 10 years in the temple and then were transitioning at the age of 60. And I thought, I don't want to do this when I'm 60. I shouldn't have been doing it. At that point in time, I was 39. I was about to turn 40. But I should have done it at 30. As soon as I realized what this was, is when I should have done it. And if I had had a queer supportive environment growing up, I would have learned much earlier on in life what I was. And I wouldn't have married the woman I married. I might have still married a woman, but it would have been a different one. The closet hurts. It hurts your life. And it's going to hurt your life in the future. If you were in the closet, do everything you can to get away from that environment so you no longer have to be in the closet. The closet's a place of safety for a while, but long term, it will destroy your life. That's the truth.